Series. We are in Altamont Springs, Florida. Doug Dunbar and Tony Finn. Dean Lavelle on the water. The Mastercraft pass, #1 for him, and he turns to Fakey to come in.
That's right. Dean Lavelle quit his job. Oh, almost went down right there. Dean Lavelle quit his job at SeaWorld to train full-time wakeboarding, and it looks like it's paying off for him. He's been training really hard. There's an air front flip for Dean. Now he turns the board into the Fakey position and does a tantrum. He took off backwards and landed backwards. It was a switch tantrum. Coming back in the wake for his final trick. Whoa! Oh, Dean Lavelle ends with the air railie. Oh my.
Wonderful air railie to end it up in the 25 seconds of time running out, but he looked really good from the start, Tony.
I tell you what, Dean has really improved his style. He goes big on every trick. He looks really smooth out there, and that full-time wakeboarding is really paying off for him.
Judges scoring with style points. That's the real addition to the 5 tricks that each wakeboarder has to perform during his 25-second run.
The judges are looking for the riders to go big. They're looking for a good variety of tricks, and they want to see a smooth, clean style. Here comes Dean Lavelle. Look at how far out in the flats he lands. You know, Dean, the first one off the dock today, is really putting it to the other competitors. There's a tantrum. He's got one more trick left. If he puts this one up, he's going to put up a big number. He nails it right before the gun. A half-cab front flip for Dean Lavelle. And I'll tell you what, the other guys on the dock must be shaking in their wakeboard boots right now.
This is going to be good style points as well, correct?
Yeah, he went big. He nailed his grabs, and he landed his tricks pretty clean. He's going to get good style points.
And Dean Lavelle getting us underway with some beautiful water conditions and a beautiful run to match. The first stop in the Sea-Doo Pro Wakeboard Series here just outside of Orlando, Florida. So out of a possible 4,000 for style points, Dean Lavelle, not bad. 34.07. Add that to the 6,400 for the tricks, and he comes in just under 10,000. The total, 19,600. Harris, the Mastercraft pass. This is his first.
This is Randy Harris's first experience on the Pro Tour. Randy Harris is only 14 years old. He starts off with the tantrum. He lives in Canyon Lake, California, which is very unusual. Most of the riders live in Florida, but Randy comes from a really cool water skiing family. He wakeboards all the time, and look at him out there. He's riding unbelievable. The kid's only 14 years old, and he's got one more trick left. Let's see if he can pull it off. It's a tantrum to Fakey. Oh my goodness, Randy Harris at 14 looks like he's been doing this for 14 years, which, hey, maybe he has. I mean, that was an unbelievable first pass.
And he had plenty of time at the end of the first run. Let's see how this little 9th grader looks.
Boom! Look at the height, look at the extension, spots his landing and nails it. You know, there was 64 people trying to get into the finals. 64 people challenged on Friday, and only 10 made it in. And Randy Harris is one of them. 9,477 on his first pass.
Well, he can't see it, but Randy Harris has the FSL clock running on him, down to 20 seconds now for pass #2.
As Randy Harris goes for a big switch stance front flip. Whoa, Randy Harris. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. His style is fine. He's looking good out there, and he's got one more trick left. It's a switch stance roll, and he nails it. Randy Harris, 14 years old, and going off for the crowd.
Playing the crowd a little bit, and I tell you what, let me ask you this. Good or bad, 14 years old, I would say he's got a heck of a long career ahead.
Oh my goodness, he has a tremendous career. Look at the extension he gets on that front flip. Confident. Gets a good carve right here. Looks like his boots are a little bit too big.
Maybe they don't make them that small.
That's possible. And nice rotation, keeps the rope in tight. He looks good. He looks excellent.
This young man knows where he is at in the air. Not a bad second pass for Randy Harris. He will take, so far, second place, though, to Dean Lavelle. 18,813 on the board. Waiting in the wings, though, former freestyle jumper Zane Schwank.
And they call Zane Insane Zane, and we'll find out why coming up pretty soon, I hope.
More tantrums, and these guys are pretty happy that Shapiro's not here this weekend. Name this guy, Sean Murray, and this is one person who's going to show you some big air.
Sean Murray last year just started on the tour and came on strong towards the end of the season. He's been training hard all winter, and he looks like he's really improved a lot. Like everybody else, it's tough just to make it into the finals. Sean Murray giving it to the crowd after every trick. He's real confident. Look at that, the thumbs up sign to the crowd. Does his half cab roll. He's got 4 seconds left. 3, 2. He needs to start the trick right before he does it. There's a hoochie glide. Right at the gun, he makes all his tricks and makes them look easy.
You know, Sean's taking so much time to pay off the crowd. Does he ever edge that clock so close that he doesn't get that last trick in time?
Well, he hasn't so far this season, but the season just started. But yeah, that's an interesting point. Nice hoochie glide, good extension, good grab, holds a grab, lands out in the flats.
Good run for Sean Murray and a first time in. We're, of course, at Cranes Roost Lake Park in Altamont Springs in beautiful Seminole County. Just under 10,000 points on the first pass.
Sean Murray, you know, he could get a victory here. He's putting some heat on Dean and some of the other riders. If he does well right here, it could put him over the top. Ooh, right there's a nice backside fakie roll.
Here he is again, taking time with the crowd.
Tantrum for Sean Murray, and there's a trick Sean Murray just invented, which is called the Bel Air, which is basically an air tantrum, and a frontside roll to revert just underneath that FSL clock, and Sean Murray puts together 2 stand-up passes. Now that's the thing about Sean and Dean, and also Randy to a certain extent. Their passes are really good, really strong, but they're not putting in the super hard tricks. And some of the riders that we'll see later will be having Mobiuses, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe even 4 Mobiuses in a pass, and we'll see they're going to have to stand up those tricks, and if they do, we could see a world record here today. Now this is a nice tantrum. Look at the extension that Sean Murray gets, and then moves it right into an air tantrum. Using his backhand for balance, the air tantrum is what is called the Bel Air now.
Not a bad second pass for Sean Murray, but it won't be enough. He may be able to leap over the rail slide, but he's not going to be able to leap over the leader with only 19,222. But next, Shannon Best decides, I want to give it my best shot in the water. And this guy has got a trick that not a lot of people have seen yet, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to throw it today or not, but it's the S-bend, a trick he invented, which is basically an air Rayleigh with the Mobius. But he starts off with a real nice hoochie glide for Shannon. Right into an air front flip, turns it over to fakie, does a fakie roll to front or a half cab roll. Shannon taking his time out there. A back roll to revert. And look at Shannon. Oh, he's asking for more speed. He needs more speed. He's asking for the boat driver to go faster for the Mob. And he nails the air Mobius. Now, the first tournament of the year, some of these boat drivers may be inexperienced, and they need to keep the speed right. Each rider is allowed to pick his own speed, but you can clearly see here Shannon going, give me some speed, Bubba.
It is a combination of effort between the wakeboarder and the boat driver that makes it so critical. Shannon's got one of the great deals living in Pompano Beach, Florida, 12 months a year. He never gets off the water.
That's right. He's always riding. You know, he's originally from Australia, but he loves it here in beautiful Florida. He nails that Mobius, the air Mobius, and that was a really good pass. Look at the total for Shannon Best on his first pass. Now, if he can duplicate that here for his second pass, he could take the lead and possibly even break the world record. There's a backside front flip as Shannon starts off into a frontside front flip. 2 front flips in a row. Shannon's got a little bit more difficult tricks in there than some of the other riders. So there's a half cab front flip right there for Shannon. Only a little bit of time left. There's an air back roll to revert. 1 second left. He's going for the Mobius. Oh! A switch stance Mobius. Shannon Best goes down on it.
Not even quite sure that he would have gotten credit because the whistle did go off right in the critical moment when he threw the trick.
Yeah, now this is the difference right here between first place and maybe 5th, 6th, or 7th place. He went for the harder tricks, did not make his Mobius, and when you miss a trick, you automatically get less style points, and Shannon's got to be upset because he was that close to victory.
Shannon gave his best, but it didn't unfortunately turn out that way for him this time around. 18,065, the total. Going to be so good, isn't he?
Well, you know, he's been on the water since he was 6 months old. Before he could even walk, he was on the water. And, you know, the thing is aerial awareness, or air sense as he called it, that is so important, and he's got it. And once you have that aerial awareness, you can do a lot of stuff out there, as he's showing right now with the Scarecrow. Parks, Bonifay, a little choppy right there, but it doesn't seem to phase him at all. Only 10 seconds left on that FSL clock. A switch stance tantrum. He's got 5 seconds left. Another tantrum. Tantrum to fakie for Parks Bonifay. He nailed it, got through the rollers without a problem, and goes for a front flip right there just for fun, I guess. His pass was clearly over, but Parks always playing to the crowd.
You take a look at a kid this young and you say to yourself, how can he become so good? Well, Mom and Dad own a ski school in Central Florida. Mom, Betty Bonifay, one of the top swivel skiers in the world in the show skiing arena for many, many years.
So he's got it in his genes. Look at the edge. Beautiful edge into the wake. Flattens out right before he hits the wake and does a tantrum to fakie. A tantrum, then he flips the board to fakie right at the end. Look at the score. Definitely pans out. Very close to Dean Lavelle, 9,770. A good pass here could vault him into first place as he starts off with the half cab roll. Another tantrum. He must really like that trick. There's an air roll to revert. Parks doing tricks in rapid succession. A switch stance front flip. And he's got a lot of time left for his last trick. Big, giant roll to revert. Parks Bonifay. I mean, these 14-year-olds, Parks and Randy, just going off. Parks having a hard time keeping his shorts up, though. You notice he had to pull them up. He needs to talk to his sponsor and get some more shorts.
This is some of the biggest air, Tony, that we have seen so far today. How much is that going to count with the style points?
Oh, the judges definitely look for air. They look for the amount of air you get, what you do in the air, and also your landings. And if you'll notice right here, Parks' landings, even though he's getting that much height, are very clean and very smooth. The judges are going to like it.
He had a couple of beautiful passes, 9,672 in the second, the addition, and we come up with 19,442, but that is still not enough. And Dean Lavelle on the shore says, Parks Bonifay, you don't have what it takes to take me out right now. 1993 world champion. I imagine he would want a taste of that again here in 96.
Well, Jeremy goes bigger than anybody. He's really been troubled by a lot of injuries, and lately he hasn't done well. But I talked to him before the event, and he said, Tony, I'm going off. I'm going to break the world record, and I'm going to do it today. And there it is with the front flip, air roll to revert. Jeremy looks very relaxed, very smooth. Look at how far he lands out in the flats. He's got one more trick left. All kinds of time. Little rolly right now. A Mobius. He nails it, and he nails it well. Lands way, way out in the flats. That's a huge pass, and the judges are going to give him a lot of style points.
You have got to expect some serious style points on that last trick. That looked super, but from the beginning to the end, he was smooth as butter.
Yeah, look at that handle pass. Really clean handle pass. Delays it a little bit and just nails the Mobius.
Just under 10,000 on the first pass, but if he wants to be king of the wakeboard here in Altamont Springs, pass number 2 behind the Mastercraft is going to be critical.
Jeremy Kovac has a clear chance to beat Dean Lavelle, and he's got a good chance at the world record also if he can put it together here. Huge railing. That is not in his trick pass. That is just a transitional maneuver as he does an air front flip. Jeremy Kovac pulling out all the stops here. He does the air Mobius. Oh my. Jeremy switches aboard to switch stance. Oh! Jeremy goes down on the switch stance Mobius. That's got to be disappointing. He was right there on a world record pace, and he goes down. Nice air Mobius, though. And then carving back into the wake here. Does not quite get enough air. Lands a little bit short. Not enough rotation. Cannot grab the handle and goes down.
Well, Jeremy said on the way in, I'm going for it. I want a world record, but it did cost him in the end a terrible second pass. He will come in actually just over 16,000. And yet to come, this man, former freestyle jumper turned wakeboarder, Zane Schwank, when we come back. The guy that says he loves rollerblading, golf, and eating, so outside of wakeboarding, he's pretty boring, huh?
Actually, Zane Schwank is a pretty fun, crazy guy. You can tell by his water performance. There he goes, starts off with the Hoochie Glide. You know, Zane's been training hard also. He still rides at Cypress Gardens all the time, and they're one of his sponsors, so he has a lot of water time. Now the switch stance crip right there for Insane Zane. Ooh, a tantrum to revert. Zane going huge for his big half cab roll. But Zane's got 4 seconds left. What's he gonna do? It's the Mobius. Zane's happy about it. Now here's what I was talking about before. Dean is in the lead with a very solid pass. All these guys are real close together in ability. Zane, Jeremy, and Shannon putting in the Mobiuses, putting in the hard tricks. Right now, it hasn't paid off for anybody. If Zane can pull off his second pass with the difficult tricks, he'll get the victory. Look at that total.
Just over 10,000 for Schwank's first pass, but he is the last wakeboarder that is going to have a chance to unseat Dean Lavelle. Let's see what happens.
If he can put it together, he will. There's a scarecrow. Zane Schwank needs 3 more tricks. to potentially overtake Dean. Backside front flip. You know, he almost went down right there. Butt checked a little bit. An air Mobius. That's a very, very difficult trick. Here he goes for a, ooh, loses a handle on the Scarecrow Mobius. 1,550-point trick. Dean Lavelle has got to be happy. First off the dock, and he's going to come away with the victory.
While Dean Lavelle gets the congratulations, we'll take a look back at the, oh, how close was that?
It looked like he was a pinky away there, Doug, a pinky away from grabbing that handle, but look at the total.
World champion.